of our realtor partners and our branches around the country on the mortgage side and their realtor partners. I'm so excited for you to help them kind of organize their time management so that they can focus on business building activities in 2024.
The second best time is today. So my hope is if you guys can take one to two things away and implement them now. The reason I'm in coaching is because I know what to do. I need the accountability. And that's what the core has given me, is accountability, structure, and a plan. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my life before. So prior to learning what I've learned now, my day was absolutely controlling me. I didn't live by a schedule. Always burned out, always inefficient. So, I mean, is there anybody that's there right now? I can see you guys on the screen. Anybody struggling with that as we speak? Yep, I see some hands nodding. Yep, it's just the truth, right? You control your schedule, or your schedule controls you. So, so this is what changed my life. I was introduced to what's called a time blocked schedule. And I always joke, and anybody that wants to get into my schedule, literally, if it doesn't show up in my schedule, it does not exist. So there's so much time that I have allocated towards my days. And in order for me to get everything done, it has to go in my schedule or it just doesn't exist. So I'll share with you guys what that looks like for me. So number one is, mastering the clock. The first thing that I had to start with was, what does my day look like? And that's literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way throughout the weekend. And I have to replicate my days. So what does a perfect Monday look like? What does a perfect Tuesday look like? So I want to share with you guys, this is an idea of what was given to me. So this is called the perfect sales system. So for those of you that are potentially doing anywhere from about maybe 1 to 5 closings per month, this is an example of some things that you guys can implement. Okay. So perfect Monday, you guys can see on there where it says Monday VIP/50 favorite people. So, for those of you guys that have been around Brian and you understand what we do in the core, we have what are called theme days. So in order for me to have a perfect Monday, my main focus is I am loving on 50 people at a high level. These are my VIPs. So Brian was telling you guys, I don't have a marketing budget. I don't pay for Zillow or Trulia or Redfin or any of those. I literally rely on my top 50 VIPs in my life. And my goal is to have 2 transactions close with 50 people. That's 100 transactions right there. Then I also have my database, but I work a relational warm book of business. So you can see that my Mondays are based off of VIPs. Now, the first thing that I need to do, you can see that we schedule in personal time. So it can be workout time, it can be personal time. For me, I have what's called a morning routine, where I want to start off my day and get my mind right before I come in and lead my team. Okay. So I have my workout time, I have my personal time. 8:30 a.m. This is, basically where you can come in. And does anybody actually go and change their voicemail on a daily basis? One of the biggest struggles that I see for us as real estate agents is we make ourselves available to all people at all times. So one tactic that you can do immediately is you can set your voicemail on a daily basis. So you can see based off of this calendar that it says check voicemails, emails, retention calls. First block is at 11:30. So if I was setting my voicemail first thing on Monday at 8:30 a.m., I would say, hey guys, thank you for calling. This is Ryan McKee with the McKee Real Estate Group. I'm so sorry I missed your call. I will be returning voicemails at 11:30 a.m. today. That way I'm setting for my clients, I'm setting for my business partners and anybody else when I will be returning my phone calls. Very important to set that up. Now, after that, we've got 9 a.m. team meeting, okay? So if you are a team of one, if you are basically a one-man show, one-woman show.
Like if you're a real estate agent, I think it's hypercritical to be proactive with your clientele and your prospects so that they know when you are busy and then when they can expect a call back from you. I think one of the biggest things that we hear negatively from both real estate professionals and mortgage professionals is clients just don't know what to expect, and they haven't heard from somebody and they expected a call back immediately and it takes 24 hours. So they just don't know what to expect. And if you look at the bottom underneath the calendar section, you'll see a couple of tabs. One of them is great targets. And those are great ideas. And that's what Ryan just mentioned. Those are the people that he initially started trying to cultivate relationships to put on his top 40. And so those are some great ideas and great realtor reciprocal referral partnerships that you guys can really engage in. And I'll tell you guys, like, you probably already have all these people in your phone. You just really need to break it out and start sifting through and seeing who's already in there and who you already have relationships with.
So I want to have a good portion of my day in green time. So I'm limiting the amount of time I'm in voicemails, emails, retention calls is also a part of green time, but I really try to stay in green prospecting activity for at least more than half of my day. If I can do that, it's a success. And a big part of what I do on a weekly basis is I'm looking to find a need and fill a need. So my VIP script, Brian, it's 5 points, literally 5 points. Number one is I have to remind that person that they are my VIP. So if I'm calling Brian, the first thing I want to do is remind Brian, and the frequency when I do this is once a month. I want my VIPs, I'm calling them every 4 weeks, okay? So easy one right now is I'm calling Brian. I'm reminding Brian, hey, Brian, you're my VIP. It's VIP Monday. Brian, I got to remind you this week, I love having you as a VIP in my life. One of the best things I love about you is how intentional you are as a father. Like, you're one of the best dads that I know of. And I see all the things that you're doing with your daughter, and I just love seeing that, right? So I want to identify to Brian and remind him as a VIP in my life. But number two is I want to remind Brian why he's a VIP in my life. And you guys, we have to be authentic with that, right? So you really have to think about, why is this person a VIP in your life? So number three is weaving in something personal. You want to weave in something personal. So that could be something that you see on social media. That can be something that maybe was from an impactful lunch. If I had an impactful coffee meeting with Brian and Brian taught me something, I'd want to weave something like that back in. Number four is I want to figure out from Brian, how can I help you this week? Brian, what's a struggle in your business that I can help you with this week? Find a need.
Man, Ryan, I really am struggling with time management, man. Can you give me a couple tactics to start the year off right?
I love it. Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell you, with Brian as a VIP, you guys, there's so much you could take just from that. If Brian's struggling with time management, I would want to find out, Brian, can I help train your team on this? Is this something where I can impact your team? Can I impact, is this something where, do you want to set up recurring trainings? I would really want to spend some time on that, other than just like, hey, let me send you this slideshow and figure it out. I want to be more impactful than that, okay? Because the number one thing is, if I'm able to pour in enough to Brian as my VIP, what do you think's going to happen? If I'm able to pour into him, then ultimately, if I plant enough seeds and cultivate those, at some point I'm going to need to raise my hand and say, hey, Brian, with all that we just went over with teaching you time management, was that helpful for you and your team? Did I give you guys some tactics that you can utilize in your business? Does it help you?
Yes, 100%, right. Ryan, you're awesome,
Love
man.
it.
I know I can always count on you to help give me some tactics to improve my business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, that's Mondays. So, another tactic I want to give you is, this week and last week are perfect examples, right? So, I don't know about any of you guys, but if we're working a perfect work week, sometimes we have holidays. So we just had Christmas, we just had New Year's. Well, what do you do on Mondays? Well, I'll tell you what my Tuesday looked like, which was yesterday. I adjusted it. My non-negotiables still happened yesterday. So I adjusted my schedule yesterday. I made my VIP calls. Then I also updated all my current clients because I still have to get everything done, right? So sometimes this has to adjust. A lot of us, it's either negotiable or it's not. And the problem is, we miss it. I made 10 calls yesterday. My goal is to generate 1 lead per day if I'm truly intentional with what we're doing. Okay. So Mondays, we're calling our top 50, our top now 40 VIPs. Tuesday is we're updating all of our clients. And Brian, you nailed it on the head. The number one complaint people have about us as real estate agents is lack of communication. I don't know what's going on with the file. I don't know where we're at, right? That is how we solve this with current clients, is we're getting them updated, okay? Number 3 is we call all of our hot leads and prospects on Wednesdays. That's my non-negotiable calls for Wednesdays. Number 4, as far as databases, on Thursdays, we call all of our past clients, and we call it our letter of the week in core. But the main thing is we also don't call. We do a great job for our clients. We give them a great experience. We close, and they never hear from us again. Maybe they get on an email, maybe they get on a drip campaign, maybe they're on HomeBot, but we don't pick up the phone and call them. Thursday will solve this problem for you, okay? So a simple way that we do this in the core is you take all of your past clients and we categorize them into A, B, C, D. So this is the first week of January. All of my A's, past clients, are getting called this week. All my A's. Okay. Then next week we call the B's. Then we call the C's. If you do this correctly, you're going to be calling all of your past clients within the first 26 weeks, A through Z. The second 6 months is when you call them again. So each one is getting hit a minimum of 2 times per year. Now, just like Brian said, there's a ton of other things that we do to where our past clients are getting a ton of touches, but this is my non-negotiable for Thursdays, is I have a list of my clients that gets audited every single month, and I just pick up the list and I call. Because once again, I said it, I'm not very smart, but what I don't want to do is get to Thursday, try to figure out who am I going to call this week, because it will never happen. So I had to spend the time to create a database, to get a CRM, to empower somebody to give me a list. And then I just empower somebody to say, Ryan, you have to call these 10 people today, and you can't do anything else until they're done. I do very well with consequences. So that's what we do on Thursdays. And then on Friday, it's one of my other favorite days, Brian. I'm hunting business people. I love VIPs. But in order to get a VIP, I need to chase other business people. Right now, I'm chasing probate attorneys. I'm chasing estate attorneys because they have the inventory in this market. Okay. So I'm very intentional on who I'm targeting. And the way that a person on Friday that's a whale or a channel account would make my VIP list is if they have the capacity to do business, but also if I like them. So that's my overview for the weeks. Now you guys can see this is basically it's about a 9-hour workday. It should be, okay? Because I also have to have family time. You can see that I go home between 5:30 and 6 p.m. That's a perfect day for me. I should be able to get it all done. Now here's the truth of what happens. If something doesn't happen, it goes to the next day where you see the alternative day. That's my punishment. That's Saturdays for me. Now, my Sundays are a non-negotiable. That is a family day. I do not work. It's a non-negotiable for me. But Saturdays, if I don't make my calls on Friday, guess what I'm doing on Saturday? It transposes over, okay? So we'll make sure we can get you guys this. I want to make sure I can get you onto the next slides, but that is an overview. This is a roadmap. And do the things that you're not supposed to be doing. So prioritization. The big thing that I learned is I want to prioritize my day off of what makes me the most money, saves me the most time, or whatever I enjoy doing the most. So if that's making all your calls first thing in the morning, great. Do that first thing in the morning. For some people, it's better later in the day. I don't care as long as it gets done. But I want to give you this. If you prioritize what's going to make you the most money, save you the most amount of time, or whatever you enjoy doing first, you guys have the most, for most of us, the most energy, and we're at our best at the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, by 5 p.m., I've given everything I have. So I'm not going to be able to give my best at 5 p.m. So that's a tactic I like to utilize, is prioritizing my day. Okay. So if you are struggling, just like Brian said, number one is for me, I can't be my own accountability partner because I will co-sign on my BS so easily, right? So this is an easy way to track what you're truly doing. This is called an accountability tracker. So if you are struggling with staying on track, I want you to print this out. I'll provide this as well. I want you to print this out and track what you are truly doing on a daily basis. And it's in 30-minute increments.